What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and this is going to be the 6th episode of my Outlaws playthrough. This is how the previous episode ended, with this boss getting knocked onto this log, and then destroyed by this saw in the sawmill level. If anyone's interested in checking out the previous episodes, I will leave those linked in the description, and I'll try to create a playlist of all the videos I have so far as well. I think it's pretty cool that our protagonist here, the character that we play as, takes a hit off his pipe before he walks away. He says that it would have been nice to get information from that guy, but somehow he knows where to go because he's on top of it. And so now this is going to be the cutscene leading into the level we are about to play. We're riding through a graveyard right now, which is pretty cliche for westerns. You'll notice there's a lot of horse riding in graveyards in westerns and stuff, and so that's pretty cool. I like that quite a bit. I'll probably take time to read what some of those say here in a little while, but we're riding up here on this town. And this level, when I was a kid, was pretty cool. I thought it was, kind of like the Alamo or whatever, but obviously it's only kind of like that because we're attacking like a western fort. The situation's a lot different. So we're going in here and we're going to try to kill some guys. Now, this level is actually one that I wish I would have played on the hardest difficulty. For whatever reason, I chose to record this playthrough on the middle difficulty instead of the one that's the hardest. I did play through it on the hardest recently, and this level actually has a little bit more work to get to the boss on the hardest setting than it does here on this medium setting. So that was a mistake on my part, but what I like to do to start this level is definitely go around and clear all of these guys that are on the wall, because once you're inside the walls, then multiple of those guys that are on the wall can see you all at once, and it's a very good chance for you to die if that's the case. So I just go around here peeking up the windows and over the walls and stuff, trying to find guys that are going to be posted up so that I can kill them, and once we're inside the wall, we'll have a lot easier time knowing that we've killed all the guys that are going to be on the, catwalks and stuff. So we're working our way around now, still shooting in the windows. I want to kill this one guy in red, but I can't remember if he allows me to kill him or not. I don't know. I take some jump shots at him. I think I killed him, so we'll be moving on now, and once we get inside, this particular level is fairly short, especially if you don't have the part at the very end that you would get to on ugly mode. There's 3 different modes in this game: the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'm playing on bad at the moment instead of, ugly like I should have been playing on, but oh well. So I think there's like 3 main buildings in here, and that's really not that many. The first one is pretty much useless. It just has 2 guys and a little bit of ammo in it. And then there's a few buildings other than that. Or maybe there might be 4 total buildings, I guess. But one of the buildings has a giant hole in it, and that's where the boss layer is going to exist, underneath this top level. And so you don't really know that until you have all the keys and everything. And the first time you're playing through this level, it will probably throw you off a little bit that, like half the level is still downstairs after you get through all this stuff up here. Because, there are quite a few enemies up here and everything. You'll notice how many I take out, and then once we finally get up to the catwalks, you'll see how many dead bodies there are in some rooms. And this level is pretty solid. It's not one of the most memorable, in my opinion. It wasn't one of the ones that really stuck out from when I had played this game as a child, and I remembered verbatim and stuff. It was one of the ones that I probably had to do the most remembering in order to, figure out again. But overall, because the level is pretty simplistic, it's fairly easy to figure this one out. But perhaps that's why it was one of the ones that I didn't remember as vividly as the other ones, because, like I said, it's fairly straightforward for the most part, and you shouldn't really have that much trouble with it. I guess the keys and the order you find them in, it might be a little bit difficult to figure out what doors to go through, but it's really not that bad. The double-barreled shotgun's really helping me out here for clearing out some of these rooms, and obviously the rifle was tremendously helpful for picking guys off from a distance. So now I need to go around and eventually get to the next key, but before I do that, I want to make sure that there are going to be no more enemies trying to shoot me through those windows over there. There's usually one shotgun guy, but he hadn't jumped off the catwalk yet. We'll find him a little bit later. And so I'm just kind of clearing out guys. We're about to round this corner, and there'll be a shotgun guy here. If you get too close to him, he can one-shot you, so be careful about that guy. And I'm sorry if I'm a little bit out of breath. I just got back from playing some disc golf, so still recovering a little bit. I rode my bike there, and I rode my bike back, so a little more physical activity than if you drive there, but definitely a good time. So I know that shotgun guy should still be around, but I don't exactly know where he is. So once I find him, obviously I'll go ahead and kill him. Luckily, he didn't do too much damage to me there. I don't think he actually hit me. That key that we just picked up from that big guy, that's the one that allows us to go into this door. And once we're in this door, we can kill a few of these guys and, you know, just kind of go upstairs and then find the next key. But I'm also going to open some of these doors that we have the key for now, even though it's not really necessary to open them. So once you're up here, you have a few options. You can go in 3 different directions, and each one's going to have a little bit different stuff for you. This one over here is just going to have some dynamite. Once I decide to go to it, I want to make sure that all these areas are clear first, I guess. And here's the one that's going to have some more enemies, and I think the next key. I could be wrong on that. But you can see how many guys were in there. I killed a few of them from the window outside, so that helped out. And this was just above where we were not too long ago. So this level design, I think it's really cool because at first you're thinking, wow, this top level is fairly complex. You know, you have to figure out the right direction to go and everything in order to find all the keys. And there are all these elevated living areas or whatever these are in the fort. Maybe they're not living areas. Maybe they're just functional parts of the fort like the kitchen or whatever these are supposed to be, really. But you'll notice, like, there are quite a few different rooms. You could get lost, but compared to some of the other levels, this level is actually kind of small if you only include this top part, because obviously once we get downstairs, there is some more stuff, especially if you play on the hard difficulty, which I unfortunately did not for this particular playthrough. Anywho, getting close to going down to the bottom level now. We almost have the last key, so that's pretty cool. And we're going to use some dynamite in not too long here for, I think, the first functional time in this particular playthrough, so that's kind of cool. I used to really like using the dynamite as the kid. I'd put in the cheat code to get maximum dynamite, try to kill enemies like that. But this is where they kind of demonstrate to you, kind of hint that you might need to be throwing some dynamite down below to kill some guys, because there were 3 guys in here that I couldn't see from up top, but I threw some dynamite there, and they were kind of dropping hints on that, you know, by leaving dynamite by the key and stuff there, and in that other hut, I think, as well. And then this is going to be the room that's going to contain the big-ass hole in the ground that leads to what is really the second half of the level if you're playing on hard mode. So I'm going to go ahead and light this dynamite, and I throw it down there, and I'll throw one more down there as well, I think. If you just jump down there without this, there's a very high likelihood that you'll die, because there are quite a few dudes right down there, so you have to be a little bit careful about that. I just try to circle it here and see if there are any guys that my dynamite didn't kill that are still close to the hole, and I'll take them out with my rifle, hopefully using the floor to my advantage to where I can shoot them but they can't shoot me. That's what I would be hoping for. So now that we've, you know, made a whole circle around here and everything, I am going to jump down into the hole once I've made sure that I've collected as much ammo as I can, and then we're going to look for any enemies that I haven't seen yet and try to shoot them, and then run to cover after that. So I didn't see any enemies, and I just wanted to run to cover over here. I have my brightness settings set a little bit too high. I think you're not supposed to be able to see as far as I can into the dark, but oops, you know, that's my fault for not calibrating it correctly. I do try to play legitimately here by having the lamp on, and you know, if I run out of lamp, that would be bad. But I could consider that a loss or whatever, because if you do run out of lamp down here and it's completely dark, like if you have your brightness setting set for, you know, that to happen where you can't really see the enemies, it does become a lot harder until you find that next piece of lamp oil. You can always see just a little bit, but not as far as I can currently see into the dark. I don't think is how they intended the game to be played, but I made that mistake when I, you know, set up all the settings and everything. Sometimes I like to do that, though. I don't like things that are needlessly dark. I don't know. Anywho, there are a few guys out here, and we'll take them out. Now, this is kind of where all this stuff that takes place in hard mode requires you to do. But here on the just bad mode, we're just going to jump down here, and then the boss really isn't this far. You'll notice it kind of surprises me. I think I'm just picking off normal enemies, and then all of a sudden, I have to, you know, kill the boss as well, because I notice him right behind these jail bars. So, I didn't even realize this is how it played out in non-hardest mode until I looked it up. I was like, why was that so different? And apparently if you don't play on the hard mode, you don't get all of the extra stuff here in this particular area. But that's okay. We're going to kill a few of these guys, and soon enough, I'll notice that the boss is just around the corner here. He's a little pot-bellied guy. I think that might be part of his name, like Fatso or Potbelly or something. So we kill that guy here, and then a rather lengthy cutscene takes place, actually. We're finally going to get to the main antagonist. Again, you know, the guy who took our daughter on the train. But we're also going to see the doctor as well. The kind of crazy doctor who burned down our farm and stuff here at the very beginning of this series and killed our wife and kidnapped our daughter. And so this main antagonist here, he does go on a little spiel about how it's the doctor's fault that they're having all this trouble now and everything, and the doctor seems to hang out with this girl named Mary as well. Her name's actually Bloody Mary in the game, and when I was a kid I thought that was really cool and kind of creepy and stuff. I was just a kid. But he goes over here that he doesn't kill kids, even though the doctor, or I think it's Mary, actually suggests that she could kill the kid for him, and he says, we don't murder children. So that's, I guess, why they haven't killed your daughter yet, or maybe done something worse to your daughter. You know, I don't know if you can say something's truly worse than killing, but, you know, they haven't done anything real rapey or anything either. That's not implied. So at least the boss guy, even though he's a ruthless killer that would kill a simple farmer for his property, he at least respects the, you know, sanctity of children and stuff, which I guess is a little bit humanizing. But here's where Marshall is, or our Marshall guy is going to ride up here on the next level, and we'll be able to kill the doctor in the next level, which should be pretty awesome. As always, guys, I do thank you very much for watching, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys.